Recording in progress.
All right. Is everybody ready already?
Yes, sir.
Yes, ready.
All right, let's hit it. Hello, and welcome to our humble little podcast. This is Atlantis After Dark, the greatest place in all of cyberspace. Let me tell you guys, if a woman feels uncomfortable watching you masturbate, it's either because A, she has intimacy issues, B, she's frigid, or C, maybe she should find another seat on the bus. I'll tell you guys what, I'm ready to go already. I think you guys are too, so let's not waste a whole lot more time. Let's get right into it and meet today's All-Stars. Warming up in the bullpen. The other day, his wife got upset that the dog was considered man's best friend, so she said, "I'm the wife and that role should be mine." So, he locked them both in the trunk of his car and drove around for 20 minutes. Guess which one was happy to see him when he let them out? It's BIFF by Adam West. What's the word, dude?
What's going on? How's everyone doing today?
Not bad. Is that a true story? Did it hit close to home there?
I would never lock my dog in the trunk of a car.
Nice. Very nice. Well, we're sure glad to have you back on this show, buddy. Next up, he's the Sorcerer Supreme of cyberspace. He's such a bad driver. The other day, he got pulled over for speeding in his Prius. The cop couldn't give him a ticket. He just wanted to know how he did it. It's Retpmus. What's happening, Big Kahuna?
Oh, same old. Just happy to be here. Glad everybody's doing well.
Good deal, good deal. Thanks for being on with us today. What about this next All-Star? The other day, he walked into a bar and said, "Hey, everybody, I just gave blood for the first time in my life today. Beers are on me." The bartender said, "That's great, buddy. Good for you." Dude says, "Yeah, turns out I'm not the father." Give it up for the man they call Hatemael. How the hell are you, my man?
I'm doing great.
You're doing great.
It's always a relief when you find out that you're not the dad.
Whew, another bullet dodged. Oh, welcome back to the show after a nice long absence, pal. We missed you around here.
I appreciate it. It's good to be back.
All right. Joining us on the show today, the other night she was lying in bed with her boyfriend. He asked her, "How many other guys have you slept with?" She said, "Just you. I was awake for all the other ones." It's the lovely and talented DCL Junk. How are you today, Miss Junk?
I'm good. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, we're glad to have you on today. All right. Next up, he's the gangster of ganja. The other day, his wife walked in on him bleaching his asshole. She screamed, "What the hell are you doing?" He shouted back, "Hey, you're the one who told me to change my ringtone." It's Sekju. Welcome, sir. Oh my God, that's terrible.
You take a 2D tone suggestion one time.
Oh God, that's great.
I guess I shouldn't say that. He's not here to defend himself.
Yeah, he's not here. He's not here today. Unfortunately, he's not here.
I just want to know if he
Birthday to your
waxed
mom,
it.
2D Tron.
That's when you do it the most.
I just want to know if he waxed it first. Otherwise, I think his asshole probably looks a lot like his face. Like that beard, like that mouth. I'm guessing they're very similar.
Oh man, that's what they call a Texas blowout. Okay. All right.
Well,
Welcome to the show.
Here. Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you today, pal. All right. Last but not least, from the hidden isle of Themyscira, she was telling me that she was blackmailed by a person who claims to have nude pictures of her. I asked her, what is she going to do? She said, "Well, the joke's on you. Now I film myself and send them daily videos until they give me money." It's Witty Amazon. What's happening out there on Paradise Island?
Well, apparently I started an OnlyFans account, right?
Oh my God. Well, you got to have a hobby, right?
That's where the money is right now, so
Is it?
why not?
Maybe I should start an OnlyFans. Maybe I.
No, there's not much money in that, Avery. Sorry.
Yeah, I think it'd be only fan.
OnlyFans. Right on. All right.
Only
It
nearsighted
is
fans.
fascinating to see
There
how
are
much
people
these
out
people
there
make.
selling jarred farts. I'm pretty sure AB can get a couple OnlyFans. I'm just saying.
Oh, all two of them, right? All right. Well, welcome one and all. And I'll tell you what, let's not waste a ton more time. Let's get into some DCL. Yes, Hatemael goes, right? Fuck me. Well, let's start with that then.
My
Hatemael.
sentiments exactly.
What are your thoughts on the game these days?
It's in a bad place right now. And,
Yeah.
you know, I've accepted the bugs, which have been particularly bad right now. And I've accepted that we're never going to get new content. Or, you know, it is what it is. You know, you accept the game as it is.
Yeah.
But the game as it is not fun. And I'm one to say, you know, I was excited when we first got Trigon because it did add an element of challenge to the game. But Cheshire is more RNG based now. And I just matches when you play them 3 times in a row and they go completely different 3 times every time. I mean, this siege has just been atrocious. I mean, it's just you can use it. I use the same team for 3 matches in a row against the same team. And then the 4th time it just no longer works. And then it doesn't work 3 times in a row again. And then you'll try it a 5th time and you're like, oh, maybe it did work. You just need to pray to the RNG gods. And that doesn't appeal to me. I don't find it fun. I don't like evasion. I know BIFF does, but evasion doesn't excite me. But then the evasion plus the disease, plus the broken characters, the Dawnstar really messes everything up. I mean, it helps sometimes in some matches, but it's just not fun. I know the Owls are in a particularly bad place this month. We're probably going to skip siege or raids just because, one, I'd rather drive a railroad spike through my brain than play raids right now. But the Dawnstar is going to make it so that it's outrageously expensive again if you want to compete. So we're probably going to skip, assuming they don't fix it, which I can tell you in the VIP group, it's been much quieter. I mean, they've always been kind of quiet. They pop in when they pop in, but like we're not getting responses to anything. It just feels like they're on they were on a skeleton crew and now they're just like on 2 different bones crew. So it just feels more neglected than ever. Like just from the posts being typos worse than ever, the bugs being worse than ever. It just feels like we're in like the Twilight Zone or Twilight years. I mean, we've kind of felt that way for a while, but it's really bad right now.
Like things are just getting
Reeves
pushed
won't
out.
even go to community chat anymore.
Yeah.
No, like it's just gone. Bullsy retired officially. So
wow.
he had stepped down. Burger had taken over as leader for a little bit, but now he's completely retired.
Wow.
We got like 3 other Owls that look like they're on the way out as well. Like it's pretty ugly.
That's
I mean, well, like you said, if the game's not fun, I mean, what motivation do you have to stay on? Like it's, you know, I've expressed some similar sentiments recently in our Alliance chat where it's like, you know, you try to keep that positive attitude of eventually something will come along that'll make it better, or we'll figure out a strategy. And this has just been a brutal month of just, like you said, annoying RNG things. And I don't even understand how turn meter works anymore with the way that speed ups work and the different way things play out. Like, I just don't know how to make my team go first anymore, which again, that's one style of gameplay. Other people like to absorb the hits and everything, which is pretty fucking impossible when Dawnstar, like, makes everybody's first hit like a one-shot kill because the AI targets the opposite affinity to start. So it's just a clusterfuck of what the hell's going to happen every time you start a match, which really isn't that fun to at least have some idea. Like, I don't mind losing now and then because I get surprised, but like being surprised every match is not as much fun.
Yeah, it sounds like RNG really took over.
Yeah, I mean, M4 kind of likes it because, as you can see, he's dominating Siege right now, partially because the hackers don't want the new character because he's Mr. Trash. But and that's the other thing. There's so many hackers right now. I mean, just like we know about the long time ones. And if you have a roster, I'm sure there's probably 20 more that we just don't know because they
stop paying attention.
Yeah, well, they have a geared roster, so you can't tell.
Right.
But the blatant ones that they're using 4 bonus tunes and they're beating these godly RNG teams with no problems. They're not winning. So for sure that they are, and they're just riding along. They did get rid of 3 of them after a lot of pressure, but
but then there were still 2 that were floating in the top 50, I think, the entire time that everyone was still pointing out that they just ignored. So
yep. So I can't justify spending money on the game anymore. So I've completely stopped all spending with the exception of buying the where I could just get the animations for my videos, and then I may buy the raid packs, but I don't even know if I'm going to play raids. I mean, just they're not fun. So, you know,
I think at least with raids, you're single. You should be able to get your solo
solo
points
milestones.
pretty quick with Dawnstar. So that
Yeah.
I'm gonna do just because it should be pretty easy and painless. But yeah, I see what you're saying, and I'm gonna do the alliance points. But for everyone here who's questioning whether I'm gonna do that, let's just say I am.
Yeah, I don't even know if I'm gonna do so because I don't care about rebirth crystals anymore. I stopped buying them.
Right.
And I'm like, it doesn't really matter if you have rebirth characters at the moment. So I'm like, do I want them? Do I want to grind through solo? But if Dawnstar makes it super fast, I may do it just to do it because I've been close to this point before. But I'd say this has been the longest I've been uninterested in the game. Like I feel like it's a chore. I spend my 20 minutes. I don't do the 27 PvP at all. I just completely skip that. I just blast through. I can usually get everything done in 20, 25 minutes, and then I don't touch it again.
That's exactly where I was about 5 months ago.
Yeah. And I'm starting to wonder, I'm like, why am I bothering wasting 25 minutes every day to do this? And then, you know, on a completely side tangent, a ton of us now have been playing Marvel Snap, and that game is just so much fun. I mean, it doesn't cost anything. Like you can pay $15 a month and get everything you ever need. I spend money because I keep buying variant cards because I like the art and I have a problem. But the devs, you know, communicate and they respond all the time, and they're constantly doing updates and fun things and surprising you with stuff. And the game's been out. I mean, granted, it's only been out a short amount of time, but it's just so much fun. And I'm like, when I'm playing DC Legends, I'm like, I'd rather be playing this. So it's
So are you trying to endorse Marvel Snap on a DCL podcast? Is that what's going on?
Just saying, I wish the devs here
No,
were a
I
lot
hear
more
ya.
like them. So,
No, I understand. I understand what you're saying. It's unfortunate because I would really rather the game be taking off at this point, or at least being ready, set, level. It's almost, you know, it isn't almost. It's a shame because there's a lot of people that have a lot of resources wrapped up in it, a lot of time wrapped up in it, that want to see it, you know, come to fruition. And you know, with as many problems that the game has having lately, I mean, talk about Dawnstar, her bug. I mean, you brought it up just a little bit ago, but that in itself almost makes the game unplayable.
And it's been almost an entire month. Like you would think
Yeah.
they could fix that pretty fast.
Yeah, you would. You would
Yeah,
think
they
so.
fixed it before. They literally fixed it before with a
Yeah.
different character. So but I don't know.
Well, like they said, after it seems like the holiday break, the skeleton crew has been reduced to almost no crew, or like
Right.
The
you know,
bone marrow
the
crew.
game was on autopilot before, and then you know they introduced a few overpowered tunes, but they haven't fixed the bugs, and like again, the game could have just gone on as it was before you had the release of these most recent few overpowered characters, which again, it's kind of the combination of them that makes them tricky, not one per se. Because I think everybody can come up with a reason why they hate a specific character. Everybody's been coming up with their reason for why we are in the situation we're in. Going back to like, I jokingly blamed Harley Quinn, the Mad Jester, for Terra's rework even happening because Terra is a frequent target of people saying, "Well, this is the reason we're in this fucking mess."
Yeah, I blame Terra.
Which admittedly we are.
Yeah.
Like it's all true, but everyone has their own perspective on what's fucked up and what's the problem. But it's the combination of things, and that's the real shame of it. Was I think back in like September, we were pretty much on autopilot, and everybody was more or less happy with where PvP was. You still had people bitching about Spectre, but you had enough options to manage him, and that was it. Like that was it. And then all of a sudden, it's been like a roller coaster every month of like, what the fuck's gonna happen this month, and not
Exactly.
not in an exciting, fun way, in a what the fuck way. Like it's really difficult. And then that's when you have to start weighing that whole sunk cost fallacy of, am I going to continue to justify my time investment because of my either financial or previous time investment? Or are you still having fun? It's tricky. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I'm really excited about the next month's characters. So that's kind of keeping me in, but man, it's tough.
And as somebody has seen next month characters, next month could get to a better place potentially.
Okay.
It's hard to say, but there's a chance.
Right.
So-
I have a source who tells me that the characters may be bugged. It's an inside source. I can't say who. Now, one of the things I think that bothers me the most is that just like the disparity now between the S tier and even the B tier. Even like that disparity, like the S tier has gotten so much better, and the B tiers. So basically, it's just like the space between. It's you really can't use like C tier tunes anymore. You really can't.
The middle class is
like
disappearing.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Goddamn.
It really is.
Goddamn Reaganomics. But no, yeah, Trigonomics. Yeah, that's the thing that bothers me the most. Like I would love to try and use different characters and different like these trash tunes. I love using like garbage tunes.
Yeah.
You can't even use A tier tunes hardly anymore.
Yeah, yeah, you really can't. And that's what's bothered me the most. But
I mean, I have Fire and Ice who are I would consider A tier solid characters. I can't put them on a team right now. Like they don't. You need
die.
Yeah, you almost need 4 characters designed specifically to counter the other team, and that I think that's what makes it not fun at all. Is you got 150 characters, and you can only really play with 10 or less. And that's kind of always been the case, but this is more pronounced than it's ever been.
I mean, can you imagine what PvP is going to be like next? Or Alliance PvP is going to be like trying to use Mr. Terrific in every PvP match? Oh,
it's definitely getting harder to be creative. There's no doubt about that. And I think that's my biggest problem with everything is, I now have slots. One of the reasons why I'm not looking forward to even raids or anything is now I don't have enough slots now because I need like 3 of my 6 slots just on specific counters to specific twat teams. And you're not being creative. You're not using a lot of characters, and you're forced to use characters you don't even want to use. And it's not awesome.
And that's where, because every game's going to have a meta. So for example, just to compare that other game I'm playing right now, there's a meta that evolves, but then there's like 6 or 7 different metas with like little caveats to them that show up over and over. And that's what would make this game fun is if you had 150 characters and they were, obviously there's always going to be characters that are better than others, but if they were closer to even, you would see new teams and you would lose because you didn't realize how that would interact. But instead it's just the same twat teams with maybe one character shifted in and out here and there over and over and over and over and over.
Yeah. Poor Steve got laid off.
Yeah, no, I still blame you guys for using your RB5 Terras just to make some dig teams and look at your battle logs and make them look fancy. It's you guys are the issue.
Yeah,
like, truly, because those ignore the debuff immunity thing. These new tunes all ignore the debuff immunities. That's because of you guys. So you're the problem. You gotta fix it.
Well, Cheshire would have been perfectly balanced if she didn't ignore immunities because she hits like a freaking Mack truck.
It's Cheshire, it's Trigon, it's Atro. All of them are ignoring immunities, and what's the point anymore? Yeah,
well, they did that too with awareness. I remember first it was like, oh, awareness is perfect. Then it was like, oh, ignore awareness.
Just awareness,
right. So it's like, but that was because of Spectre. Spectre had that. So
they're gonna start a new trend now with the non-purgeable buffs like coops, because God forbid that Spectre would clean all those buffs, and I don't know. They're gonna start a new trend there. Mark my words.
The Cheshire and Trigons, I think, so much easier for them to counter. Like Spectre did too much that was passive that you just couldn't really build a character that would be a perfect counter for. But Cheshire and Trigon, I think, would be easy. They could just do disease converts to strength ups, on your character
easy.
Or something.
Exactly.
Why not just a purge all team debuffs move with a long cooldown, and then you could combine them with other tunes that shorten that cooldown for defensive purposes, but at least you have a move that cleans the board so your team can survive for a couple turns.
So I'm not too worried about those 2 characters just because I think they could create a counter, like a character that you'd be like, you see those 2, you slot this character, you win.
I'm not going to lie, though. The tone of this conversation has me a bit disappointed because I was hoping Black Lightning was that character, but I guess we have to wait and see.
Yeah, is he a rework or is he
he's supposed to be a rework.
A rework?
Month.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's the only green healer in the game, isn't he?
Well, Lex.
Oh, Lex is a green. I'm sorry.
I think Indigo has a heal.
There's a bunch of them now.
Yeah. There are
Couple
a
of
few, but I mean, like, yeah,
Okay.
he
Who
was the
uses her
first.
though?
Well, no one. You
Right.
can't.
Tootie.
Right.
I think Tootie has
Yeah.
a usable indigo.
Yeah.
I geared mine thinking like, oh, maybe like it has like a purge 3 debuffs on every team, and I thought like, well, let's just plug her in and see how she does with with all the diseases. It's not even close.
Oh, she's
It's
so
like
bad.
it's like what's the point when you get 30 disease on each person
Yeah.
and you're like trying to get rid of 3? It's like, okay, never mind. That was a
Yeah,
waste
we
of
need buff
green essence.
purging. We need buff purging or debuff purging rather on the same level that we have buff purging.
Right,
We have multiple
exactly.
characters that can purge all immunities, so they can purge every buff on a tune. Give us somebody that can
Yeah.
purge all the debuffs on our team to save our allies.
Yeah, well, even
Well-
like Bizarro, how perfect would that be? Like make a Bizarro
Yeah.
just stronger with disease.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, so I think like that part of it, I'm not too worried about. It's, just all the other stuff, the bugs, and the problem is you just don't know. Like Dawnstar, is she going to get fixed in a month? Is she going to get fixed in 6 months? You just don't know.
In
Yeah.
December,
Fix it all.
probably.
Yeah, or is she ever going to get fixed? It's stuff like that makes you wonder. And then the other thing is that Dawnstar seems like a cool character. Like I'm like, oh, I might take this character up, but I don't know how good she is until she's fixed. So
Right.
I'm not going to invest in her.
Right.
Like that's,
Oh.
and then they have, I never play on my phone. I always play on my iPad, but I was away over the weekend a lot. So I was like, oh, I need to run my Siege and stuff on my phone. And I didn't know on the iPhone 13, if you don't turn it sideways first, you can't see the screen. So you can't push the buttons. So if you have the Pro Max. And thankfully people have figured out workarounds, but I guess there's an Android one where you can't play the game at all. So like if
Yeah.
you're a new player, like those are things that you would really want to fix, because if you get new people coming into the game and they can't play the game at all, you're just going to delete the app and move on.
Yeah, no, you can't use like unless you have to know that to go in and disable Android web view, Android system web view, which is it doesn't even show up, but you have to go into the settings. It's crazy.
Yeah. So I hate to be a Debbie Downer on my return to
Oh well,
Yeah, this is a
Yeah,
really
this-
depressing episode.
This is
right.
You've been really depressing so far. Now talk about your divorce.
Actually, that's gone really well. I'm surprised. Yeah.
Wow. All right.
I'm actually I'm having the most fun I've had in a long time.
Oh, good. You took
Good for
Tootie's
you.
advice.
But yeah, I actually did.
Good for you.
Man,
I'm about to be out of work. So
All right.
Are you really?
That'll go on the theme here.
I'm
God.
assuming I have cancer. I mean, I'm probably, it's why not?
Oh boy. Well, then I mean we're going to talk about Dawnstar, but we don't have to because she's bugged and OP and all kinds of.
She's amazing right now.
I'm sure she's amazing, yeah. But
Fastest character in the game, does a ton of damage, makes your team kill everything.
Yeah,
What's not to like?
Yeah.
yeah.
She always overheals? Like even if she's solo against herself, you can't possibly fucking kill her because her passive makes sure of that.
Yeah, the worst thing, it's almost as bad as Cheshire versus Cheshire's when you have Dawnstar versus Dawnstar.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
she's
like,
so
oh,
annoying.
Forget it.
Well, and if you don't have an anti-evasion, like you've
Yeah,
lost.
it goes on forever.
Even if you do, it doesn't matter. Like, because you could bring, like, say that you bring Soups or somebody like that, like, and I'm sorry, I mean Cyborg Soups, and like he has the ability to clear off all of her evasions and everything. Her bug is going to make it so whenever she hits him that first time, she one hit kills him
Yep.
anyway. And the red tunes can't, like, Connor can't stun her because there's a bug that doesn't allow his stun to apply through her evasions. So you can't even use that strategy against her. And if you try to, like, disease her out again, if she gets below 50% health, she purges 6 buffs, it gives herself shield, and she overheals.
You know what? I'm actually a little worried about Cyborg Superman when Cheshire is fixed, because he's going to be a nightmare to deal with.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I don't know. I Stitch knocks him out so quick.
Yeah, Stitch is much better than I thought, because the Atrocitus Siege, I really didn't use Stitch much. And then somebody had told me that, so I did use him in Siege against Cyborg Superman team, and I was shocked at how much.
It's crazy.
Oh, yeah,
And like the fact that yeah, and just like the passive where it's just throwing boulder after boulder at different people, you're like, it's crazy.
question plus Stitch is a very fun combo.
Oh,
whenever
yeah.
that
Yep.
whenever that call assist happens and like Stitch goes off and hits like 6 times, and then you've got a huge stack of intelligence, and then you drop that third, which I think is
Absolutely.
a perfect opportunity for us to hear from Retpmus. You're so
Yeah, I was
quiet
just
over
know,
about
there.
to say
right?
that.
I'm wondering where he's at.
Fell
Oh, I'm
asleep.
here. I'm
He doesn't
here.
like the negativity.
No, no, I'm all in with the negativity right
Yeah,
now.
he has
Yeah.
been. He has been
He's
very
been a
outspoken
little
in
bit,
our Alliance chat.
yeah.
I tell you, I was contemplating last night of joining AB.
Right.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I mean, when I sit there, I even posted, I am not having any fun at all playing this game. So
Yeah.
why would you continue to do something if you do not have fun doing it? And it's bothering me a good bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
it's
think
tough.
people just stay in because they've spent so much money. They have so much money and time invested.
Right.
It's like you don't want to leave that, because I mean, like, look how much of like how many hours, how many like months of your life like total have been put into
Since it
Months.
came out,
you know.
since,
So
since
so
it
it's just,
came out.
I mean,
So-
like if you put all your playing time in one huge, just one continuous chunk of
Oh,
time,
it's hideous.
it's
Mm.
insane.
Hideous.
It
Now,
is.
now this is getting depressing.
Yeah,
there's
Trying to-
that
trying to
sunk
put that into
cost
perspective.
fallacy.
Right.
There
I mean, it costs
The
some
thing-
people their marriage,
Right?
no one-
It's almost equal to the amount of time I spend on the toilet.
It's almost like a Venn diagram of them perfectly overlap.
Right.
You know, and just some of the things like simplistic bugs are so easy to fix.
Yeah.
And you know, as a programmer, I'm just thinking, why? You know, it's just like I just don't understand it. Like the resolution fix that you were talking about, Hatemael.
yeah.
There's an actual option in Unity before they compile it. They can actually lock it to landscape left or right, or set it for auto rotation for left or right. So it can only open in landscape. So it would flip. If you have it up and down, it would automatically flip itself to open in that perspective. It's a single click of a button before they compile the program. I just don't understand these amateur mistakes of a company that's supposed to, you know, they've been programming this for over 5 years. I just can't. I don't know. I'm going to stop talking right this second before I get angry.
And you wouldn't like
The
him
only
when
one
he's
who's happy
angry.
is Sekju because he's so high.
Yeah, I mean, basically, that's what it comes down to. But I'm just sitting here thinking. I think a few maybe months ago, I said something about monkeys or chimpanzees sitting with keyboards, and that's what's actually programming this game. And that was the mental image I was conjuring there as Retpmus was talking. So
Yeah.
yes, that's the reason I'm smiling. Mostly, I stick around just because I enjoy talking to you fine people.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
games
Well,
really-
that's it.
aren't fun
Yeah.
anymore.
Honestly,
it.
it's the podcasts, you know,
Yeah.
you guys, ours, and all the people we play with is, and the only thing is, you know, and that's where that other game's kind of like starting to make me even, I think the other game's making me even make this worse because I see how good they're doing. And then so many of us are playing it now.
Yeah.
Well,
You know, and
that-
it's in
that-
some of those games you can just play. Like what I like, one of the best things about DCL is you didn't have to sit there and play all day every day.
Right.
Like some of these mobile games, and that game's similar where I could just play for 10 minutes and feel like I accomplished something.
Yeah. Well,
so can you
Mel,
do alliances in that game? Marble Snap?
No, it's
No?
coming eventually, but I mean it's card based. It's like Hearthstone style, but it's really
Okay.
fast paced.
What about the DC Heroes and Villains? Is that coming out soon? Is that kind of like a Marvel Snap?
No, it's more like DC Legends, but I don't know. There was something to that one that
I think it's a puzzle game, right?
Yeah,
no, it's not a puzzle game.
I thought
One was
there
like
was a
Scooby-Doo or
puzzle
something.
aspect to it.
There's
No.
There's two different
This
ones.
is a that
I think that
one's
one actually
not good.
I think that one actually got canned.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Unless a new company comes and acquires DC Legends, I have a bad feeling that we might be getting very close
Yeah.
to the end. I know we've said this in the past, but this time feels different for some reason.
Yeah. And I know
Well, the one
last
thing
show,
I've seen that
last show I was talking and 2D scolded me for bringing this thing
Right.
up, and
luckily Tootie's not here because he would let us have it.
right,
So,
he'd
yeah.
probably let us have
It
it.
was
and,
fine.
You know, that's fine, but I'd be remiss if I didn't say something. I'm not trying to cause panic or paranoia amongst the community. I think there's plenty of that already. But God, I mean, It's sad that we're all talking about what other games we can play on a DCL fucking podcast. You know?
Hey, I've got the
Yeah.
inside scoop that about sometime later on this year, close to the end of the year, is supposed to be a really cool community-friendly base game that is supposed to be open to everybody, and they're going to love it.
Oh,
Can't give all the details yet, but I've heard about it. It's a lot like these other games that are out there, you know, but they help because they will communicate with the users that are out there, you know, the player base, take advice, constant communication. I mean, they're even going to have live chats with the communities, you know, to get their inputs. I mean, I think it's going to really, you know, make people happy.
Is that being made by somebody we know?
Yeah, I believe it is. You might know him.
Does it take place in West Virginia?
No, it does not.
The whole game? Oh, I thought that would be great.
oh boy.
I knew there was a problem when I went into the I normally don't touch either the gem events or the hero events or whatever.
That was
I normally don't touch them until the weekend to get alliance points, like Miss Junk said. But then I went in, I think yesterday, I cleared one board on the Power Girl event. And I think I was in 800th place through 10 matches on the third day. And I'm like, what in the holy hell is happening?
Right. And it's, you can't, I think there's one red alliance tune like each day, so you can get 1 point a match if you try and do the damage for alliance. And meanwhile, it's like
today.
You're fighting Cheshire every day, but you have to use like, you know, which like Deadshot's actually a legitimate, like you could argue that Deadshot could be used against Cheshire, but like I'm thinking like that's really like why do you have an alliance if you don't, you know, I don't know, that boggles my mind. But.
I gotta say, this Red Blitz though is teaching me that Nightwing might be a key element to managing Cheshire because his stun actually doesn't miss.
Yeah,
and that's huge because then she loses her evades, and then
that's okay. They'll fix that first.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, but
they will.
Yeah, but Dawn Star will just take all the invisibilities away. So
yeah. That's true.
It is true.
Like I said, it was good in Red Blitz at least, but yeah,
I've used Nightwing quite a bit in Siege actually, for that reason.
Yeah.
I mean, the Cyborg Superman destroys him in 30 seconds, but
oh god,
but
Cyborg Man's could, as everyone said. I mean, I know we're focused on this other stuff, but he's an issue.
He's a brick shithouse, is what he is.
Yeah,
yeah. When Dawnstar's fixed, he might. I mean, Darkseid deals with him pretty well. But other than those two,
Etrigan does well with him too.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, there are a few. The only one, actually, like the only one who doesn't really do that great is like Spectre. Thank God, because Spectre hits under his shield, which is like kind of.
He helps too.
Nobody complains about Spectre anymore.
Yeah, I know.
Everybody finally got their wish.
That's what I said. That's what I said last show. That's the only thing positive that's come out of all this.
Yeah.
People stop bitching about Spectre.
They'll be back once the Trigon and the Cheshire fix comes. Spectre's still just as stupid as he was. He's taking a backseat to people that are more stupid right now.
Yeah, because Cheshire can just destroy him because she's so fast on the opening move that if you don't have a taunter to protect him, your Spectre's fucking toast. So
I love Siege sitting there with your Martian Manhunter, Darkseid, Darkseid, and Poison, and you're just sitting there going, where could I put Darkseid that she won't see him?
He's wearing a
sees him every time.
The whole fucking time.
I'm just sitting there.
Hey, here you
pick
go.
a slot.
I posted this video in our chat, but you know there's something wrong with this when this happens. Listen to this, Hatemael. I had Martian Manhunter, Black Flash, Darkseid, and Darkseid as a team, right?
Yeah.
All right. That way I went first against a team that had Enchantress lead and Cheshire and Trigon, and that way I could stun them and, use Black Flash. So I fought that team. That team never got a single turn, and my whole team died. They never got to go. I'll send you the video. They don't.
I would love that.
They don't even get a chance to go because the very first thing, Black Flash turn meter down. When their turns up, Darkseid stunned them all, removed every single buff. Then Black Flash eventually came right back up, turn meter down them again. And I'm sitting here picking them off one by one. Trigon's passive kills every single one of my team members, and I died.
I've seen it because I tried it and I've had similar things happen to me.
You know,
It's-
something's wrong when you're fighting an opponent, they don't even get to touch you, and you lose. That's an issue.
Yeah.
I used to always find with my evasion teams, I could win a match without getting an offensive turn, but I've never heard of that. I've never heard of that one.
Well, look in the main chat. You'll see the video there.
By the way, even when they do release these ridiculous, and I think a lot of it is not any of the characters specifically, it's combinations now. For example, I think the worst one that we haven't even talked about is one with Superman lead with Trigon and Cheshire, and fucking put Indigo in that. I don't even give a shit. It's still there.
Usually the worst version is Superman, Trigon, Cheshire, Terra.
Yes.
Yeah,
That one's a pain in the ass.
But you know what, Terra, put anyone other than Terra, like that thing is, I think that's the worst comp in the game. And it's just, I don't think it would be hard. And I don't think, especially where we're at now, I'm not a nerf guy or hey, listen, you invested in a character based on, a certain expectation. But at this point, I think there are small tweaks they could do to all of these characters to just get it back on track. Like get rid of, let her not hit under debuff immunity, or take away her awareness.
I don't understand why they don't do that.
Yeah,
every other game does it. I mean, I just started playing Marvel Snap, and it's been out for 3 months, and they've already nerfed and buffed like 50% of the cards.
Yeah, just take a small thing that just makes a big difference, and it could be one thing with each character. Like to Retpmus's video point, like take away something of him, the passive of him applying all this disease when no one gets a turn, or take away Cheshire's awareness, or
what they could do is in the other game they do really tiny tweaks, and then they say, we're going to monitor it for another month and then see, and then make tweaks again if it's not enough. When if they would have been doing that all along from the beginning, everybody would just expect it. So when you invest in a character, if they're overpowered, but they're not going to like hit them with a nerf, like they went overboard with Deathstroke and Lobo. They should have just done Deathstroke and left Lobo, or vice versa. And then because they did that, there was such community backlash that they were afraid to touch anything, which was so stupid. I mean, if you could have just tweaked, like Spectre, for example, just knock his damage down and leave all the other crap, he would have still been a character on every team. And then people like Garth, you buff the crap out of them when they don't do enough. I mean, I don't understand why they've never done anything like that.
It's insane. Like a real easy. I was thinking about this with Spectre. Like if you'd made it so like his passive would only go off if someone on the enemy team died versus anyone dying, immediately he could still be used on every single team.
That's Etrigan.
Yeah.
Well, either way, I mean, no, yeah. Well, still which Etrigan's fine. He's balanced. He's like a great tune, but I don't know. I've given up trying to talk sense into anyone.
Well, they either, whatever executive team out there doesn't want to give them resources. So I think the time that's allotted to this game for development is less and less and less every month. So now they probably are like crunching the hour and a half that they're dedicated to creating new characters or whatever. And then they're like, all right, you have 12 minutes to do bug fixes.
Ready, go. No, it's like I said, Steve got laid off.
Back to the games that actually make money.
Right. God, I mean, it almost begs that maybe I should ask this right out in public. What the fuck are we going to talk about on Atlantis After Dark?
I know.
Right? I mean, I love this show.
We can start playing Oregon Trail again.
Right?
Actually, isn't there a new version that's supposed to be out?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I thought they made it like a new Oregon Trail. I heard that this is like a couple years ago, but
oh
yeah, I mean, we're.
What are you going to do on WROL, Hatemael?
Well, we're already doing the Snap podcast.
It's not WROL, it's WOWL. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we got rid of that too. Now we're WRLL. We have WRLL Snap that has started.
Oh, wow.
It's a weekly episode. We love, me, Lou, a bunch of us, we love it. Burger Plays, Tons of people from
I
DC
think the
Legends.
only reason you're on this show today is so you can hawk the fucking Marvel thing. That's what I think.
You know, I don't like Marvel nearly as much as DC, but the game
Right.
is just super fun. Like
Yeah.
it's the most fun I've had. Like when I sat down and played, I played for like 8 straight hours, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so much fun.
Well,
And
shit.
you know, I don't play that much actually. I haven't played a lot the last week, but it's just one of those things. Like, you know, when I'm playing, I've been playing a lot of Xbox Call of Duty with my nephews, but when I feel like playing, DC Legends is not what I feel like playing right now, which is not good.
Yeah.
Like it feels like a chore.
Yeah. But so you guys are moving over from DCL all the way to Marvel Snap? Is that
Well,
what
I
I'm
mean,
hearing?
no, a lot of us are still playing. Like me
Okay.
and Loot, for example, I go in and do my dailies, with the exception of 27 PvP, and then I usually like Snap's one of those games you don't have to play every day. Like you can
Right.
kind of play whenever you want, type of the game. Loot plays like a madman, but
Yeah, you can't. No, really.
yeah. I mean, he's a grinder though,
Right.
so he plays nonstop. But I mean,
Right.
let's say M4 started and he quit, and then he kind of came back. But he likes, it's one of those games you have to focus, like actually pay attention when you're playing. Versus some people like the just background game. I don't really care about a background game because if I'm playing a game, why do I want to just leave it in the background? You know, that's
Yeah.
what TV's for.
Well, shit. I mean, I guess that doesn't help me in my question to you guys, which is, what do you guys want to talk about on this show after we're fucking done with DCL? I guess
Well, it's not done yet. It's not done.
it's
yet.
not done yet. It's
Let's-
not done yet, right? I'm
Not
not
It's
gonna.
giving
on
up yet.
It's on life support, but it's
Right.
still there.
Right. It's been on
Um,
life support for years, just waiting for it to die. You know, like grandma.
Right. Witty, get the paddles
I
quick.
will be there to hold its hand as it goes into the great beyond.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I will be there to say like it's time to. It's time. It's time.
Oh.
I've always said I'll be here till the servers leave. This is closest I've contemplated leaving
Yeah.
without waiting. I don't think I can do it. I think I still will log in and get my dailies. Even I'm playing less, and I finally got to a point where I'm not spending tons of money on the game, which it didn't deserve tons of money. Which ultimately I think every whale I know doesn't spend. M4 is the only one I know spending on this game anymore. So maybe Tootie. So I think that might hasten the demise, or if we want to see the glass half full, management may say, oh geez, nobody's, because part of it is we all keep spending, so the game keeps sticking around. So
Sure.
either they're going to pull the plug or they're going to fix it. So one of the two is going to happen. You know, the argument we always had was, well, if we do a spending boycott, the game may end. Now I'm to the point now, I'm like, I don't care. I'd rather it end, you know, let grandma pass,
Yeah.
or find the cure for whatever ails her.
Right.
Boy.
Hard to argue with that.
On that positive note,
New characters.
Well, you can always talk about DC cinema.
yeah, and I think, you know, well, sure, and that's one
That could be
option too.
worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
It could be even
That's
more
it.
depressive. So
Talk about life support.
Yeah.
They did pull the plug and put James Gunn in instead.
I don't understand. Why does Marvel
Grandma
do everything
remarried. Grandma
Why did-
remarried when Grandpa died.
What was that, Hatemael?
I said, why does Marvel do everything better than DC except the actual core story? Like, it's just so frustrating because I want to like DC
You know what
more.
I think? You know what I think,
but that-
honestly? I think what it is DC has to deal with Warner Brothers, and they have to deal with that entire studio over there because they're not the same company. Whereas
Well, Marvel's
Marvel
owned
and
by Disney.
well, Disney houses their own people in-house, in the studio. In other words, Marvel has their own people working directly for Disney on these projects. So there's no way they can fuck them up. If you're telling me that, you know, Jeff Johns and who else is on the set every day for Superman and it turned out like that, I'd tell you you're a fucking liar. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, Superman's not the best example. I mean, let's say Suicide Squad. Let's say Justice League. You know, how was that possible that came out with Jeff Johns behind it? It boggles the mind. Boggles the mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's and it's again, like, I try to be the glass half full kind of person all
Sure.
the time. Like there's a lot of negativity going on, and I'm gonna wait and see with what's going on with the DC universe. But there's already questionable moves. Like
Yeah.
you see the reports that they're thinking of keeping Ezra Miller, and after the slap in the face of getting rid of a beloved Superman and presumably getting rid of a beloved Wonder Woman, I just don't get that. Even as the glass half full guy, it's hard for me to even see that positively in any way, shape, or perform. And I'm even they give everybody a second chance guy, but this dude's on like his 8th chance. So
yeah,
I
it's
don't- I
unreal.
don't know.
What I mean,
And
ah,
he's not
Plus
even
he's
a good Flash.
good.
So
He's got some
I just
pictures.
don't
Yeah.
see it.
He's got some pictures in a manila folder somewhere that are set to be released to the press if something happens to him. I don't know. There's something going on there. Or he's somebody's love child. Like he's Alan Horn's love child. I don't know.
I think Amber Heard and Johnny Depp's love child.
Maybe.
Right. I mean, well, it's like Witty said. He's not even a good Flash.
That's what I mean.
No.
That's the most mysterious part of it
Right.
all. He sucks.
Yeah.
It's not a good Flash. So
He's
why,
just
why
not
put
that
up
great
with
of
it?
an actor in general. Like he's not terrible, but he's still just nothing special. So I don't understand why he's like immune to everything.
Yeah,
We
I
got-
mean, almost like that guy from the TV show Grant, whatever. It's like wasn't that bad, but
Grant
He was
Gustin?
good the first 2 years.
yeah,
but then-
exactly. That's the only time I
Oh,
watched
that
it.
show.
But
Yeah, that
And
show
then-
got old fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
it's like
don't-
every DC show that's like so formulaic. It's like, well, one person has powers, then next season someone else will get power. Then eventually everyone on the team has powers. It's
Right,
like,
yeah.
all right.
But
The
I
only
still
one they
will
did
watch
really
that.
good-
I'll still
the
watch
Superman TV show was really good though.
Yeah. Well, it didn't last long enough to turn into a suck machine, so
You
Oh, it's still
you
coming
gotta,
back.
Flash.
That. It still has a chance.
it still has a chance.
a lot of things you got to remember, like for Grant Gustin, for example, you say he was the best in the first 2 seasons.
Yeah.
It wasn't that he was the best in the first 2 seasons. It was like they had better writers because
Yeah.
his acting
Yeah, that's
ability
fair.
didn't change.
Yeah, he's a good actor. He just
Yeah.
they make him cry every episode. So
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can only see the Flash cry so much before you're just like, all right, guy.
Like Tobey Maguire and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Toby
There's
Maguire.
people telling Barry to fucking run. He's like, I get it. I know. That's what I do.
But this time I have to run as fast as I've ever run before.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
Just get a good cry out, then run.
My God.
We should talk about the new characters though. We should talk about the new characters next month in DCL. Like it's it's
Yeah, yeah.
interesting. Like Milestone, the first 2 Milestone comic character or Milestone media characters.
Sure.
And it's weird that they don't, instead of Static Shock, they pick these 2, but it's cool that they're bringing in Milestone.
Yeah. Well, I think the reason for that is more recent exposure in DC media because Icon and Rocket have shown up in Young Justice. So I
Oh,
don't know
okay.
when the last time we saw Static in like a current media that would make sense for him to come in, but they've at least been in a contemporary show. So I that's the only thing I can think of as to why they would be the 2 instead of, Icon and Static, presumably. So I don't know. But I like it because
Yeah.
that was
Yeah, me too.
that was like my core comic reading days when I was little, was when Milestone existed, and
Mhm.
I really enjoyed those characters. So I'm pretty happy to see them in the game. I'm excited to see what their kits are and hopefully somehow make the game a little bit more playable and more fun. We'll see.
Yeah, hold your breath.
There's a lot of green going on there, so hopefully one of
I
those
still wanna
greens can do
live.
something against something to Cheshire. I don't know. They're still probably susceptible to Trigon, but we'll see, I guess. I don't know.
I'm guessing it'll be Dawnstar and then Trigon and then Dead.
Possibly. We'll see.
I've never heard of either one of those, so I think there's a group of us that it's just, and we just don't know anything about either one of them.
Yeah, well, Milestone was great. Like, there's this great. I think Sci-Fi did a 4-part documentary on Milestone Media when it came out. Was that
Was it-
Dwayne McDuffie? And
Yeah, I was
all
going to say
these, like,
Dwayne
founders.
McDuffie was a huge part
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah. Naomi was actually her last name in the character comic
Is
was
an homage
McDuffie.
to him.
Yeah. And it was just really cool that they decided like an all Black owned group, but it was like part of DC, so they had total creative control. And it's just the way they're talking about how interesting it is, but then how DC, of course, would be like, no, you can't do this. No, you can't do this. I think there's one episode they wanted to show someone with they wanted to show like a condom wrapper or something. And DC just like flipped over that, and it was just like, but eventually they just like said, well, we're gonna take over again.
Meanwhile,
So
decades later, you get DC Black Label, and here's Batman's dick.
right.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Icon's a really cool character. I think people, if you look into him, he's an interesting character. He's I don't know if he's immortal, but he's got a lot of longevity. He's over 200 years old.
Right.
He was, alive during the Civil War.
And
he's-
the slavery, he was here like during slavery
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
So it's like so interesting to see that versus like the Superman version of an alien who came here and it's like everything's perfect.
Yeah, and it took some convincing. Like, he was on the planet for over 100 years, experiencing all the horrible things that happened to that marginalized community, and then still choosing chooses to be a hero in modern times when convinced to do it. Like, so that was kind of a neat twist on the story, is how much he experienced adversity throughout his time being here, just based on how he looked, and then he still ultimately becomes a hero. So I thought that was a cool part of his story.
There was a crossover too, DC and Milestone crossover where Superman and Icon fought, I guess, but I don't know what happened with that.
Well, I'm sure they went out and got beers afterwards or something, and then Superman just like flicked peanuts at a wall or something. Actually, I don't know. But I don't know. They're cool characters. I like Rocket too. I'm gonna throw it out there. I find Rocket's story from Young Justice to be compelling, and as a parent of an autistic child, I think that was an interesting thing for them to include in Young Justice. So I appreciated that. So I'm happy to see Rocket join the game as well. Hopefully we do see somebody like Static eventually too, but I'm pretty excited for these characters.
Was that from the comic books, the thing with Rocket, or is that just
I don't know if that was from the comics or not. I just know that they included it in Young Justice as part of her character arc in season 4. And I just appreciated that that was even included in the show at all, to show like the kind of struggles that parents go through.
Right. Oh, that's cool. That is cool that they do that.
And it was neat how they kind of tied it into like Orion's crazy berserker personality. I thought that was a neat way that they did that. So, but that's just me. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know anything about these two characters, so I
Just
yield
like
the floor. Right? Yeah.
They got DCL got back to doing making me write on my guesses for the new characters.
Yeah.
Who are two characters who have never been in my kitchen.
I think Icon
I have
could
no
be
idea.
neat. I hope he'll be neat. I don't know. We'll see.
What are their names? Rocket and Icon?
Rocket and Icon.
Yeah, Rocket and Icon. No, Rocket, I was surprised
What?
because the character description doesn't look like she's going to do what I thought she would do. Like, I thought she would be a shielder.
Shield, yeah.
But the way that her kit, well, not description because there's no kit yet, but the tease of what her kit will be doesn't seem to suggest shielding. It looks like agility and speed ups.
And doesn't she have stuns? It looks like
yeah, something like that too, or energy, manipulation or whatever from her technology stuff. But I always thought a big thing was her force fields, so that's where I was like, okay, I don't know, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah,
That's the other thing. Give us a new debuff or buff.
Yeah,
You know.
well, it's also funny when you look at other characters. Like, what was it? I was looking at Saint Walker. It's like 15% shield is one of those things. Like, do you know how little that is right now?
yeah. When you got characters that get 60% off their basic,
Right. It's just like, wait, it's 15%. That's what you're doing. So
POT.
maybe that's why.
Well, and that I think
POT, purge one buff.
I still think this all goes back to Spectre though, because they tried to make Spectre counters, and then they just said, we'll just power creep the hell out of them, and they were successful.
but I mean, at least St. Walker's another one of those guys they could look at as a future rework that could help deal with the power of disease, so to speak. He already has like a move that clears multiple debuffs off his allies, so just make it clear all the debuffs off your allies.
He was released like 3 years ago, so
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, but he's a character that could reasonably be reworked sometime soon.
Or
Yeah,
I always
definitely.
thought Zatanna, let her clear debuffs.
Yeah, people
At the end of every turn, just clear all
I
debuffs.
agree.
and she's a tune everybody fucking has, presumably at this point. So that
You would
helps
think.
the entire community resolve this issue and gives everybody what they've been begging for as a Zatanna rework. And Lurking
Yeah.
is somewhere very angry at this part of the show because he's always like, "Fuck Zatanna, keep her broken," like, or not broken, but just not useful.
Yeah.
But I say, yeah, that's it right there. Number one, you'll make all the people that have been grumpy as shit happy, and everybody has Zatanna. So that rework instantly is in everybody's catalog to use to counter all this shit.
I really don't understand why they can't just like do minute tweaks on all like the trash unit instead of like saying like, here are big reworks. Maybe it's just like a money thing. But
Yeah.
I mean, like, they just want money for people to buy sharp fragments.
Well,
of-
they tried
that's-
that with the stat buffs, but the problem is that it requires more work,
yeah.
and
I mean, really, does it? You go in and you change 2 values.
Right. That's what I was
I mean,
thinking.
it's not. It's
but
just
it's
laziness.
planning, and I think they don't have enough time to complete what they need to complete.
You only get 15 minutes a day allocated to program the game.
Yeah,
Hey.
I mean, I think it's like they get a very small block of time that's committed to this game, and I don't think there's enough time to even do the normal stuff.
Right.
The-
The
the
one person they
game-
have The one person they have can only work on it until recess is over.
The game is not that advanced to take that much time to program. It's not that advanced. It's very simplistic. What takes time is creating the assets, like creating a whole new character, giving it animations, texturing the character.
Yeah.
That takes all the time. Programming it is nothing compared to that. I mean, it really isn't. That 15
so what you're
minutes,
saying is like a rework. It's just changing the value, so it's barely any programming too.
Yeah, you literally just go in and the values are set and stored, and you just go in and you change values. I mean, how difficult is it to change a number?
I don't know. Well,
I don't know. It might be hard.
When you have 10 minutes to do it, it's probably not easy.
Somebody needs to go take that 0 off of Dawnstar. Like there's an extra 0 in there that wasn't supposed to be there.
Yeah, I mean.
There has to be more to it, either not necessarily on the programming end, but the management approval chain. There's some.
Oh, it is.
There's some big block of frustrating difficulty that makes doing simple things.
I'm sure it's one of those. Let's have a meeting about the previous meeting, about that meeting to decide about that meeting.
We need a rogue programmer.
Yeah.
Meeting for a meeting. You reminded me of work. Thanks, man.
Oh, that happens to me all the time. It's like, we'll have a meeting. It's like, as soon as this is over, let's have a meeting to discuss that.
Yeah.
And then we'll have that meeting. And then it'll be like, okay, well, I want you two to go discuss this in another meeting. And then you go discuss this. And then it loops back around and you're just like, really?
How
they
the hell
call them breakout sessions.
Well,
they all do.
Yeah.
That's one of the many things. I'm so glad I'm not in big corporate America anymore.
God.
That's the best thing I ever did was leave that world.
I work for state government. We still do that bullshit.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. My God. What do we say? Or I mean, I don't know. Should we think about wrapping this one up? I
think we should.
Cross your
Let's
fingers
put a
and hope for
condom
the
wrapper
best.
on
put a
this one.
fucking
I'm
boat.
thinking about going and visiting visiting Sekju today.
Right.
Yeah.
I need something to feel better.
Like I said, my New Year's resolution was to get more high on my supply. So come on by. That all rhymes.
Wow.
You were a poet and didn't know it.
Right?
Saying. All right, let's take it around the horn and get the last word. Retpmus, do your best, buddy. Take us to church.
Just give one big sigh.
There you go.
All right, all right. Let me like muster from the deep depths of what's left of my little bit of positivity.
Do you have any booze to take a swig of before you go into this? Or
Need a shot of
here we
courage.
go. All right. We all know it can be tough to stay positive when we're constantly surrounded by negativity. But what is important to remember, you have the power to control your own thoughts and reactions. It says others may try and influence you, persuade you, but ultimately it's up to you to choose how you're going to react and think about the situations. It's not always easy to stay positive, but it will be worth it in the long run. And just remember, you are the one that's in control of your happiness, and it's important you to keep that in mind. Stay positive, safe, strong, and just keep going.
Well
There
said,
you
buddy.
go.
Well said. Much
Well said.
appreciated. Yeah. I thought I did a good job for being a Debbie Downer today. All right. Thanks, Retmus. Appreciate it, pal. Biff,
You're welcome.
tell like it is, pal.
Having some mic issues.
Uh-oh, he's having some mic issues.
Okay, here we go.
There you go. Okay.
So I don't have much positive to say either, but I will tell you because I'm going through a tough time right now in my career, and going to be making a change. And I guess this can apply a little bit to DCL. I read an article the other day called "The Power of Uncertainty." Because a lot of times when you think about uncertainty, whether it's the game, whether it's whatever in life, you think of uncertainty in a very negative way. But a lot of times uncertainty can be stressful, but it can also be exciting. It can be fear evoking, but it also can be empowering, or it could be unnerving, but it also could be confidence building. So sometimes uncertainty leads to really great things. So That's it. Sometimes you just gotta you gotta look at something that normally has a negative connotation to it and look at it as a new opportunity.
I like it.
There you go.
That's a good
Yeah.
one.
And that
Ri-
could be really, taken in the perspective like maybe next time around they'll do it better, or someone will come out and make something better for everybody.
If you want to read it, it's a very quick read. It's the article called "The Power of Uncertainty."
Yeah, post a
Uncertainty.
link, please.
Very good.
Just Google it.
Just Google it.
Okay, fine.
It's like, God dang, making me work.
Man,
I know, right?
That's by
way to
Alyssa
kill the
Feinerman.
positive vibe there,
Yeah.
Biff.
Oh my Lord. All right. All right. Thank you very much, Biff. Much appreciated. Hate mail. Tell the people what they want to hear, pal.
On that same note, I just went through a divorce and I could have let it get me down. But in my old age, I was telling these guys, there's a shocking amount of attractive women that can't find anyone who's worth a damn. And it does help that I'm black from the waist down, like Icon. So, which we didn't even talk about that at all. Tootie was very excited about that giant package of his.
We'll save that for next time.
Yeah. I mean, that
pull
thing.
that content without Tootie here.
So hopefully we don't get too much hate mail in the comments about my negativity, but sometimes you just gotta let it out, and what better place to let it out than with your friends? So
Yeah, I
that's
agree.
one thing DCL I will always cherish is that DCL gave us a lot of good friends, people I would have never known.
Yeah.
So actually met Lute in person not too long ago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he came to West Palm Beach in Florida, staying on a trip, so we met up. So that was
Very
really
cool.
Cool.
That's right on,
So
man.
if you guys are ever in Florida, give me a shout.
Will
We were
do.
actually supposed to have a AAD field trip this year, and it got canceled at the last minute because a couple things came up for a few people.
Yeah, we
We're
keep
gonna have
talking about
three or-
doing it now.
three or-
Maybe
We
we'll
were
just
gonna have
all
three
do
or
it.
4 people.
Do it like a DC Legends meetup.
Yeah, there you go.
Next year's Owls Fantasy Football versus AAD live
Yeah,
draft
there
at
we go.
Biff's place
Yeah.
in the man cave.
Oh man, what a good time.
Chug.
All right. Thank you very much. We appreciate your word there, hate mail. Sekju, tell us what's going on, pal.
Just hang in there. Like everyone else is saying, I guess be positive. I don't know. I love DC characters. I'm always gonna love DC characters. This game could fuck up 1,000 times over, and I will give it 1,000 free passes because I love DC characters, and it's the only thing I have easy access to play right now that involves my favorite characters. So right now is kind of a crappy time in the game, but I will hope that it gets better. In the meantime, it's letting me utilize my DC Infinite subscription much more, and I'm catching up on my comics, which is glorious. So, just do the things that make you happy. If you're not happy playing the game, like Hate Mail was saying, then just do the parts that you need to on autopilot if you want to hang around. If not, then we'll miss you. But hey, it's just a game. They'll come out with a new one. There'll maybe be a better one coming, hopefully soon. And go with that instead if it makes you happy.
I agree.
And smoke marijuana if you're really that low, because that's what I do. So just never around your children.
Right. Good advice. Thank you very
Yeah.
much, dude. Much appreciated. All right, Miss Junk, tell us what's
Well,
going down.
All right. Yeah. Along the same lines. Like, even though you're on your phone looking at the play, and this whole virtual world sort of maybe going downhill for now, just stick with it. It's almost like AB's OnlyFans page. It's been going downhill ever since he started getting into water sports. But I'm just going to stick around and watch it. And eventually it'll get back to the good old, the old school stuff that I came for.
Hopefully.
What is water sports on OnlyFans? Is that like code talk, or is that literally?
Well, I know in porn it's like peeing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
let's
not hip
get
with these
into
times.
Water sports.
Yeah. I don't watch enough
that's
porn
why
to know that.
I've had so many great memories on AB's OnlyFans page. It's like, I'm not going to give up now.
So you're my only customer.
That's right.
Oh, God. Well, thank you very much.
I'm keeping you in action figures.
Financing that Kiss collection.
Yeah, look at that. So I'm not playing the game anymore, so this is what I'm spending my money on. Stupid shit.
No, it's
Oh,
awesome.
God.
That thing has grown noticeably.
Yes,
I see
Yeah,
it.
has.
yeah. Got
Very
the
nice.
the 24-inch Kiss Destroyer dolls. They're fucking rad.
Yeah, we are
Um,
talking about toys, not his penis, just in case. You're wondering.
Right.
I was just wondering.
Oh, 24
For those who
inches.
can't see,
Well, on his OnlyFans page, he nicknames his penis the Destroyer. So
That's right. Good Lord. Nobody has ever said that about my penis. I'll just put that. Okay. Oh, love it, Miss Junk. Thank you very much. Witty, give us the bottom line.
Yeah, I think this time around will be the positive Polly around here because this has been a very depressive episode. So whenever you think the game is letting you down, just remember your teammates, the good people you've met and you've played with. I'm sure you have good memories. And there will sure be something good to look for down the road, game-wise for all of us. So let's just hang around for a bit more and see where it goes. And hopefully everyone has a good week, an easy raid. And let's see what the new month will bring us. Something hopefully interesting. I know at least for Wally it will be. And it will be great to have him on the show to talk about Stripe.
Yeah, we'll have him on next week. Looking forward to it.
And I just while
Very
you were
much.
reading, while you were saying that, Witty, I just read
Yeah.
in one of the chats. It said DCL's like my toxic baby mama. I made bad choices when I was younger, so I feel like I have to keep her around. That was Celis 22, if you guys know that person.
oh, he has some great comments.
Nice.
Oh,
That about
boy.
sums it up.
Yeah, that does about sum it up. And this has been a very therapeutic episode. And I think that about sums it up here for us too. So thank you, panel. Much appreciated. And we want to thank all of you for taking the time to be with us today. Get on our website, AtlantisAfterDark.com. Grab some cool swag from the merch store, get on Discord, talk directly with us, and then hit that subscribe button on YouTube because you know you want to. For BIFF, for Witty, for Retpmus, Sekju, Hatemael, DCL Junk, we'll see you all right here next time for another fantabulous episode of Double AD. So long, everybody.